And this one thing is why a lot of people fail trading. I'm not saying I have made it yet, but I'm saying, hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. The last 2 weeks, I took 7 trades and I am down exactly $140. And how do I deal with this loss? How am I dealing with this loss? How do I overcome it? Obviously, it sucks when you see trade percentage exactly 0. Everything is just negative. Everything is red. Everything is 0%. How do I deal with it? I'm not saying I'm the master at it, but I know some things that maybe you guys can learn something from it. The one thing that I learned from the beginning of this year is that if I go to January and February, let's see right here, you can see that's all red. I am in the negative. If I go to January, again, all red. And that's because the previous months that I was trading, I was doing really good and I was trading really little. I was only trading once or twice a week. And as you see, I wanted to take more setups. I kept losing. So I got annoyed. I wanted to take more trades, trying to find more setups, and then I'm losing again. Why is that? It's because I'm trying to make back my losses, and that's a really bad thing to do. Even though you're saying you're not going to try to, in your subconscious mind, you're probably thinking that you want to make back your losses. Even though I'm not increasing size, I'm not over leveraging. In these months, I was trying to find more setups. I was trying to look for my setups and add more setups into my trading. Even though it's the same break and retest, it's just a different form of trading and different structure of the market I'm doing. And since I was doing that, I was losing more. And as you see, I'm taking trades almost every single day. Then we see March, we see April, I'm taking a lot less trades. It's because I went back to my setups, trying to be patient, I'm trying to be disciplined. And then now we go to May, I just lost. I'm doing good still. I still won one trade. I kept trying the same idea on this day and I lost 2 more times that I didn't need to. I lost again on the next week. And I'm down pretty big. So what do? I did the same thing in January, February, where I did change more setups. I know what I have to do, but why am I trying to add more setups? Why am I not being patient? And this is why I probably stacked up more losses than I should over here. And now I'm more down than I should be. In particular, in these 2 setups that I took, they weren't aligning with my setups. So why did I take the trade? I had this green day in the last week, but I want to make more, right? I want to trade more. So maybe I did take this trade. But then I kept trying it again. I kept trying again because I was confident that I kept winning. But then when I kept losing, that just was bad. I shouldn't have taken that many setups in that day. Just to show you guys the losses on this day, Friday, it was a 32%, 18%, 27%. So they weren't too bad of a loss, but the setups were just not great. Looking at the 2-minute chart right now, we see that we are rejecting in this SPY chart right here and this ES chart. But on the other charts, the NASDAQ and the QQQ, we're holding demand zones. And we haven't broken market structure yet, and I was trying to short it. That's why I was losing. But the thing I was reading wrong was that I kept trying to short the same level again. I attempted it 2 more times and I took unnecessary losses. On Thursday, I took $81 loss. The first trade was good. It was really good, but I did not lock in my profits, and that's why I lost. But the bad thing was I kept trying the same idea again. Going to the 2-minute now, here I did short this level right here, and I could have sold right here. It would have been a good trade, but I did not respect it. And I kept trying to hold all the way to here. And that was bad of me. In hindsight, I'm saying that now because it wasn't a really A+ idea. It was a valid trade, but the downside was not going to be that much because we haven't broken real market structure. And I was just trying to be too greedy, and that's why I lost. The bad thing was I attempted it 3 more times, and I just kept losing. And if I kept chasing that trade, maybe I would take so many trades and I just keep losing. So the problem here is that I'm just taking too many trades because I'm trying to make my wins. I'm trying to believe that the setup is right, and I'm trying to believe that I have to be right. So that's why I keep taking the trade, because I want to make back my losses. So what I gotta do is I gotta limit my trades. I gotta stop taking these extra trades, and that will limit my losses. I gotta focus on taking A+ setups. I shouldn't be changing my setups because I don't think it's working anymore, or I want to add more things because I want to trade more. I'm changing something that hasn't been broken. Just because it's not working today, just because it's not working tomorrow, or let's say the next week. I know I have data, I know I have my statistics, I know that I have won these type of trades before, so I gotta stick to my strategy, I gotta stick to my plan. But if I'm trying to change it up too quickly, I'm not giving it enough time. I know these setups work. I have done it in the past. I made money in the past. I know these setups work. I just gotta fine tune it. I just gotta make sure I'm reading market structure properly. And if I just change it when it hasn't been broken yet, this is why I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna keep doing this spiral effect. I'm gonna keep taking losses because I keep changing my strategy. You gotta make sure you stick to your strategy. You already know what you're doing. You already know that you have a winning strategy. Why am I changing it up? Why are you changing your discipline? You gotta stick to your plan, stick to your strategy, stick to your A+ setups, and you'll be good in the long run. You just gotta keep playing the game. You got to keep sticking to your strategy. The next day, Friday, I took a nice W. It was a retest long, which I haven't took a retest long in a long time since last year or like December, but I haven't taken a retest long, which is crazy for me because the market was weak. But there was sometimes there was longs that I could have taken, but I was just scared. I wasn't confident in taking longs because I'm just more interested in taking downside. I'm more better in taking downside. That's why I want to take only downside, and I was not confident in taking longs because I was scared of losing. But if you're scared of losing, you're not going to take your shots. You're not going to learn from those markets. But at the same time, you can watch the markets and you can learn from them. Here is a break and retest long on the 2-minute charts that I took. My risk to reward was about a 4-to-1 if you're just looking at this picture right here. If you guys haven't watched my last video, I do have my full breakdown of last week, and I do have a live trade on this trade right here, so if you guys want to check that out. But just looking at this chart, this is more A+, this is more quality. We do see this level on the 576 on the SPY. We see it reject on the pre-market, and then once I saw a break up, I wait for my A+ setup. It breaks up, I don't chase it, I wait for the retest. You see how it slowly starts to retest a level, and then once I start seeing hold over here, that's when I took my position. I got it around this green arrow right here, and then my stop loss was just right under this level right here. I didn't stop out right here on the exact 578, which is my supply zone. It's because I know that, or I believe that it can get to this Nasdaq level right here, which I was also playing off the Nasdaq. It was choppy on the ES and the QQQ because I don't have a zone there. If I did draw a line right here, it would basically align exactly as the Nasdaq and the SPY. I didn't really care to draw that line. I was playing off the SPY and the Nasdaq, then I just knew where I was going to get out. This was A+ setup is because this was a multi-day break and retest. It doesn't have to be the next day. Sometimes it can take a couple weeks, sometimes it can take a month. This right here was about 2 weeks ago. This was around May 12th. It's about 2 weeks ago, and it gapped up, and we never really retested this zone right here after, and the market just kept going up and it never retested it. It retested this zone right here, but that's still not the break and retest of the bigger time frame. And then it goes down, and that was the break and retest long right there. It had a lot of daily SMAs right here. This was a 20, this is 100, and this is a 200 SMA. So I knew that this was also a big level on the SPY. So when it did break right there and it gave you the proper retest, and I got my entry in the 2-minute time frame, and then it did a retest long right there. I also screenshot the end of day because I do want to see the whole market picture. I want to see the whole market structure so that I can always back test and look back on my charts. And basically I sold it right here, which would align exactly at the Nasdaq right there. And if I didn't sell out, yes, I could have lost money because basically the SPY was getting stuck around this level, which was the Nasdaq level that was getting stuck. It did go up higher, like let's say right here and right here, but that was basically 1 or 2 hours later, 1 to 3 hours later. And that's still fine. If I had positions to scale out and if I had the time, then yes, I can hold that long. But I know that this could be a potential break, retest, and short level right here. And that's why I got it right there. And I'm just trying to be protective because even though I could get off right here and right here, the volume may be lower. The volume probably is not as great anymore. And if you're playing options like I do, then yes, the volume does matter. So it's better to get out when the volume is high, such as the candle that I got off in right there and right there. Of course, after this trade on the Friday, I am still down, but I did recoup back my losses. But what I need to do is focus on A+ setups. I need to focus on just not taking many losses. I need to focus on risk management and taking as little losses as possible and making sure that my wins are bigger than my losses. And the main thing is not changing up my strategy, not changing up the things that was working before just because I lost and I'm trying to make back my profits. I can't just be changing up things, and I can't just be trying to take more trades. And this one thing is why a lot of people fail trading. I'm not saying I have made it yet, but I'm saying a lot of traders that I heard of their stories, they keep changing their strategy, they keep changing it, and that's why they keep losing. I have stick to the strategy since day one and I never changed it. But there's multiple ways to use the strategy. I tried trying more setups. I tried to add more things to it. So fine-tuning your strategy is the main thing, but psychology does play a role in it too, because if I'm not disciplined in taking that setup, if I just try to add more things and just not sticking to my plan, then yes, that's why you can keep losing. And what I like to say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next one.